Hello YouTube, how have you all been? I haven't made a video in a little while, and in fact this video is not going to be particularly about much, so I would probably recommend you stop watching here. However, I am going to set myself a challenge. This is going to be the first video I've made where I don't touch my face a single time, and that includes my beard, so watch for that. Yeah, so, because I basically have nothing to say, I thought I would make a video about having nothing to say, i.e. The topic of writer's block, which I think anyone that's ever tried to write something over a sustained period of time has suffered from and knows the rather irritating nature of. Yeah. Oh, before I do that, I thought I would just make one comment about the football. I feel it's my duty as an Englishman to do so. All I wanted to say is, I wonder how many times more the average pay of the England team is than the average pay of the USA team, and whether the FA are getting ripped off. Yeah, it would be an interesting statistic to have, I think. Yeah, writer's block. It's a pain. Because I tend to find that I rely on writing quite a lot, not just as a hobby or a thing to do. Sorry if I sound a bit bunged up, by the way. I've got a cold, so I've got an annoying blocked up nose, so I won't have quite the charming British accent that I usually have. I'll probably sound more like this if I'm talking a bit strangely. Oh damn, face thing. Oh well, never mind. That didn't count. That was for artistic purposes. I won't touch my face without reason. Right. Yes. So yeah, I sort of rely on writing, be it poetry or stories or a journal-ish thing, as a way of kind of filing my thoughts, keeping my thoughts in some kind of organised manner. As well as sort of a microscope for my emotions and my thoughts, and the world around me as well. So when I'm not writing, I kind of feel a weird dual disconnect. I'm both disconnected from the world because I don't feel like I'm looking at it and analysing it properly. If I were, then I'd surely find things to write about, so I sort of feel a bit, I don't know, like a sort of ghost drifting through the world, not really observing anything properly. But at the same time I feel a sort of disconnect from myself as well, because I also don't feel like I'm looking at my emotions and my thoughts properly. So it's like being caught in a strange sort of halfway world between yourself and the real world, and not being able to do much in either, which isn't pleasant. And unfortunately it's gone on for a week or two now, which starts to make me irritable, as one or two of my friends have sort of noted and had to bear the brunt of. I get rather more sort of irritable in conversation and less supportive, I guess. So yeah, one thing I wanted to say in this video really is, any of you that do anything creative for yourself, be it writing music or writing poetry or writing stories or painting or drawing or I don't know, dance choreography or whatever, any form of individual self-expression, what do you do to overcome those moments or those extended periods of time in which you sort of run dry of inspiration, or you feel slightly too disconnected from everything to actually create anything? What hints and tips do you have? Because I think I think everyone could kind of benefit from having some sort of knowledge as to how to make sure that they're always able to put themselves out there in a creative way when they want or need to. I don't like feeling like I can't write anything. It makes me feel slightly sort of dead inside almost, which isn't fun. So yeah, as well as that, any sort of, I don't know, suggestions or things you can prod my way to inspire me, I guess, would be much appreciated. Be it a beautiful piece of artwork or a song or something. So that I guess would be a nice sort of positive thing to use this video for. Having spent the last 5.5 minutes whining. So let's make this a sort of universal tag, as it were. I'm not going to tag anyone, but anyone that watches this has to at least leave a comment or do a reply video or something, and tell me what things you find the most inspirational or moving, what most drives you to think and feel things that you wouldn't otherwise feel, be it in the world of art or music or film or whatever, really. So yeah, I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say to that end. I guess what I'll do now, just to fill up the time, is do one of my poems, if I can get my internet to work. La 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 la. So, tell you what, whilst I wait for this to load, I'll have a meaningless, pointless, inane chat with the camera. So, yeah, I guess other things you could comment with is how you've all been, what you've all been up to. Maybe also something else that I think would be quite interesting. I feel like we all sort of put ourselves out there in a very intellectual way on YouTube, or a religious way, or whatever. We say a lot about current events, or poning creationists, or whatever. But I think it's very rare for any of us to say anything about ourselves on an actual meaningful personal level. So maybe also another sort of universal tag type thing for this video is for each of you to say one thing that's actually really about you, as opposed to just that you don't believe in God or you do believe in God, or whatever. Something about you or your life that not everyone knows. Okay, my internet doesn't seem to be loading properly, so I don't seem to have access to my poems at the moment. So I guess I'll leave it there. So, hope England do better in the next match, and good night, YouTube.